Hi, I'm Rich Zatkowski, and welcome to another episode of Homeland Improvements. You know, it's coming on 4 years that I've been doing home improvement seminars at home shows. In fact, we've done hundreds of hours of 1-hour seminars at home shows, helping people with projects around their home. But you know what? Last year I started concentrating on saving you money, saving you money, energy. And you know, when you do that, you'll save the environment also. So today's program is going to deal with saving money, energy, and the environment. Just yesterday, I'm watching the news, and electric bills in the Chicago area in Illinois are going to be going up 30 to 40% by the end of the year. I guarantee you, with today's show, I can save you anywhere from 15 to 35% on energy costs around your home. And the best part of this show today is most of these tips, that's right folks, most of these tips you can do yourself. You don't need to hire a contractor or do any major renovations to your home. Join me with saving money, energy, and the environment. If you'd like to advertise on the Chicago History and Automotive Heaven television and radio show, you can contact me at 312-841-2560. Email me at rautomd@gmail.com. Go to our website and check out all of our stuff. We have a sponsors page on there at richiez.com. That's www.richieze.com. If you have a business, product, or a service, we can put together a package that'll help benefit your business, product, or service. Or if you just like to donate, it's a pledge drive. You can donate to our show and keep us on the air. We're actually looking for sponsors to do a lot more shows like you've seen today. I'm Richie Z. Thank you for watching. You know, when you go out to buy any kind of appliances for your home, I want you to check the energy savings. There's usually a ticket on it that says Energy Guide. It'll let you know how much energy you can save by purchasing the appliance. Let's get into hot water in a home. You know that you're heating hot water that you're not using. I mean, your water heater heats water 24 hours a day. Some of us are only home maybe 12, 13, 15 hours a day, but we're at work the other time. So while we're at work or away for the weekend or on vacation, the water heater keeps heating the water that we're not using. I highly recommend installing a tankless water heater. Rheem supplied us with this unit. In fact, we're going to install this on one of our future shows and show you how it works and how easy it is to install. But it's hot water on demand. A lot of you that have a spa or a hot tub can relate to what I'm talking about, because when you go to fill that spa, you never have enough hot water. This thing, whether you're using 1 gallon, 5 gallons, or 500 gallons, will give you hot water continuously. But when you shut the hot water off, the unit shuts off. So you're not wasting energy. So I really am an advocate of next time your water heater is on its way out, when hot water heaters usually only last about if you're getting about 7 to 10 years out of it, it's time to replace it. Look into doing it with something like this. Let me give you one tip about your hot water heater in your home right now. And that is, most of you out there have it set way too hot. You need to knock the temperature down 1 or 2 notches on that little meter. You're heating the water up so hot that you have to mix it with cold water to bring the temperature down. Just by turning it down a little bit, making it a little cooler, you're going to save some energy.
Another tip I'd like to give you is insulating your hot water pipes. This insulation comes in all sizes, so no matter what kind of pipes you have, if you have the old galvanized pipes, the 3/4 inch, you can buy 3/4 inch insulation. For these 1/2 inch pipes, they make this 1/2 inch insulation. The new insulation nowadays, be quiet. There's like a little strip, you pull it, and it's got a self-adhesive on. Anybody can do this. You just take it and you slip it over your pipe and slide it and put the next one on. You can cut it, and that's how easy it is to save some energy on your hot water and your hot water heater. Not only is hot water important, but the water that you use in flushing your toilets is very important. Do you know that an average family of 3 or 4 can save anywhere from around 1,500 to 2,000 gallons of water a year just by going with the new 1.6 gallon toilets? The only problem there is there's a lot of toilets out there that aren't functioning properly. If you put a little too much toilet paper in, they actually end up backing up and having a problem where you have to flush them 2 and 3 times. Sloan Valve has designed a thing called FlushMate, and this FlushMate is a unit that will actually pressurize the water. When you flush the toilet, here's your thing for flushing the toilet. You press down and it flushes the toilet. There's 1.6 gallons of water in this unit. When it completely flushes through, this thing goes to refill from in here, and it'll actually pressurize. So you're putting 30 pounds of pressure on the 1.6 gallons of water for your toilet. But they also went into redesigning the toilets. Toilets have always had like an S chamber for getting rid of the waste. Well, they turned it into a U chamber now. As you can see here, it comes in and it just comes out of here and goes through and down. By doing this, you can save a lot of money in the water consumption. Plus, you know what? We're really working to help the environment. That's thousands of gallons of water a year that don't have to be treated and brought to your house with all these chemicals in them, the chlorine and everything else. So save some money by replacing your toilets with a FlushMate that really works, and it'll use only 1.6 gallons of water. You know, I ended up replacing my washing machine, and I looked for that energy tag. It is just so important. This Kenmore washer saves a lot of water. I don't remember the exact amount, but the old washers used to go through 20, 30 gallons of water, somewhere in that vicinity. These new ones are working at around 8 gallons of water to do your complete load, 8 to 10, something like that. But you know what a big tip is out there? When we go to set our laundry in to wash, try to do a full load. You know, the days of just doing 3 or 4 pieces are over. We need to conserve the energy that this thing runs on and the water that we're consuming. So make it a full load of laundry whenever you're doing laundry around your home, and you'll help save energy, save money, and save the environment. Do you clean the lint screen on your dryer every time you do a load of laundry? It is so important to do that. You cannot even imagine. By cleaning the lint screen every single time you do a load of laundry, you prevent lint from going into the chamber of the dryer, up the hoses and all of that, and you will make your dryer work a lot better. Dryers are set up to a point where they go to a certain temperature. If they exceed that because of obstructions in the lines going out of your house, the dryer will shut down. So do you ever have that load of laundry that you threw in and you came back down after a full hour and the clothes were still damp? Chances are your dryer is telling you that you have a lot of lint in the hose, and even in that lint screen coming out of your home, you need to clean that out. But clean the lint screen every time, and your dryer will last a lot longer, and you'll save energy drying your clothes. You know, I've watched a lot of shows on global warming. I've read a lot of articles about global warming. And, you know, we use a lot of energy foolishly. You know, we talked a little bit about our washer, about our dryer. This thing, I tell people in all my seminars to use one of these. I definitely want you to use this. It's the best German bacteria killer. We're getting into this bird flu, we're getting into this influenza scares and all of that. You know, the best thing to do is put dishes in here and glasses and your utensils that you use around the kitchen and clean them. But I want you to also load this thing up completely. It's real important. In fact, if you got sponges like this laying around your kitchen, it's a good idea once a week to put them in the dishwasher also. This is a great bacteria killer, but I also want you to load it up completely before you run it. By doing this, you will save energy. Since we're in the kitchen, since we're right by the garbage disposal, let me do a little bit about keeping it clean. If you keep it clean, it works better. Not only does it work better, but you're going to keep bacteria out of your kitchen and hopefully you won't get sick. This is the dirtiest drain in the home. Now it's summertime out. You ever come home and you just smell something a little funny? Well, it's your garbage disposal in your kitchen. The best way to clean this, I have found, is you take a couple of lemons, you cut a lemon up into about 8 pieces, take a couple of lemons, drop them in, take a box of that good old-fashioned Arm & Hammer baking soda, sprinkle about 1/3 of the box in there, grab a handful of ice. In fact, there's an old wives' tale. They talk about ice sharpening the blades of a garbage disposal. Not true, but it does get all the crud and dirt off. Run the water just very lightly on cold and let the baking soda, the lemon, and the ice clean out your garbage disposal. You can save hundreds of dollars a year just by insulating these light switch and outlet covers in your home. Take the containers you get from meat or fruits and vegetables and wash them out real well. Take your outlet cover like you see here, press it into the styrofoam. Take and draw it out with a pencil or a pen, a marker. Cut it out. You've just created a seal for your outlet cover that prevents all the hot air from getting out or the air conditioning from getting out or that air from outside coming in. By doing this, you can save hundreds of dollars a year, and this is something you can do yourself. Just lay out a Sunday paper on your kitchen table, take off one room at a time, unscrew them, and then you can screw them right back in and create a seal.
If you'd like to advertise on the Chicago History and Automotive Heaven television and radio show, you can contact me at 312-841-2560. Email me at rautomd@gmail.com. Go to our website and check out all of our stuff. We have a sponsors page on there at richiez.com. That's www.richieze.com. If you have a business, product, or a service, we can put together a package that'll help benefit your business, product, or service. Or if you just like to donate, it's a pledge drive. You can donate to our show and keep us on the air. We're actually looking for sponsors to do a lot more shows like you've seen today. I'm Richie Z. Thank you for watching.
You know, every time I do a seminar, I talk about this thing in the house, the ceiling fan. And I always ask, do you use it in the wintertime? Like we just did a show in the spring, and I asked people, do you turn on your ceiling fan in the winter? And 99% of the people in the audience don't use this thing in the wintertime. Most people use it in the summer because they want to circulate that cool air because it's too hot in the house. But in the wintertime, you want to use this because hot air rises. So just by turning it on And you want it to go in the direction to push the air down into the house, okay? You're going to take the hot air that's up in the ceiling area and push it down into your home and make it a lot more comfortable. And the thermostat's usually mounted halfway up the wall. The thermostat won't register cold in the wintertime and have it turn the furnace on. So you're going to save energy there. But in the summertime, you want to take the fan and change the direction and have it bring air up so that you can circulate that cool air. You know, a lot of times people get real confused about which direction and how to make it work in that. I tell people to put a newspaper like on top of the refrigerator, and if you turn on the fan and it blows the newspaper down, that means it's blowing down. So you want to change the direction and have it blow up in the summertime, but you definitely want to have that fan blowing that hot air down in the wintertime. This will save you a lot of energy in your home. I want to touch on light bulbs. There's an energy rating on light bulbs, so you need to take a look at that. But a lot of you out there are buying light bulbs that are 75, even 100 watt, where you don't really need them. Something like this only needs about 60%, 60 watts of power. The new lights, the reveal lights that give you like a natural sunlight effect, work out really well. They don't blind you, but it gives you like a natural outdoors type of look, and you might be able to get away using the 60 instead of the 75 or 100, where you'll be saving energy. But for all of you that have those lamps, your reading lights and stuff like that, this is a real interesting thing for saving power. This is the new fluorescent bulb. This saves a lot of energy. By replacing your bulbs and your lamps, your reading lights and stuff like that with a fluorescent bulb, you can save a lot of money, and you're going to help save energy and our environment. In the winter time, I definitely want you to open the blinds and let Mother Nature help warm up your house. The sunlight will actually help warm up your home. But in the summertime, we definitely want to close those blinds, and I would even deflect Mother Nature's sunlight a little bit. You still want to see outside, you still want daylight in your home, but you could deflect the sunlight with your blinds and prevent that heat from coming into your home. That'll save you a lot of energy. In the summertime, we have a lot of humidity in the Chicago area. What I want you to do is get a dehumidifier. By taking the humidity out of the air in your home, you're going to prevent mold and mildew, number one. Number two, your air conditioner won't work as hard trying to bring that temperature down. Because an air conditioner not only brings the temperature down, but it also takes the humidity out of the house. You know, on the same respect, we have the dehumidifier here, put it in your basement. In the same scheme of things, in the wintertime, you need to put humidity back in because you're heating the air and you're actually drying it out. That's right, folks. In the wintertime, inside the home with the heating units, we actually dry out the air. Beginning of every season, when winter starts, people start getting sore throats and stuff like that. They're sleeping, they have that dry mouth. That's because you don't have any humidity in the air. So in the wintertime, you want to add humidity to the air. In fact, I want you to, if you have a humidifier built into your furnace, over the summer, I want you to take it apart, check the filters, make sure everything's working right, you don't have lime deposits. If there is a problem with it, I want you to take it all apart, soak it. Good solution is that CLR to get lime deposits and stuff like that off of all those components. And if the filter needs to be replaced, replace it. And by doing these tips, taking the humidity out in the summertime, adding humidity in the wintertime, do you know that you can actually cut down the temperature you set your thermostat at by about anywhere from 2 to 4 degrees, and it'll still be comfortable. That's right, folks, especially in the wintertime. Adding humidity, you could drop your temperature down to around 68, 69 degrees and be comfortable in the house with humidity.
If you'd like to advertise on the Chicago History and Automotive Heaven television and radio show, you can contact me at 312-841-2560. Email me at rautomd@gmail.com. Go to our website and check out all of our stuff. We have a sponsors page on there at richiez.com. That's www.richieze.com. If you have a business, product, or a service, we can put together a package that'll help benefit your business, product, or service. Or if you just like to donate, it's a pledge drive. You can donate to our show and keep us on the air. We're actually looking for sponsors to do a lot more shows like you've seen today. I'm Richie Z. Thank you for watching.
Want to get into this? I've been doing these home shows for 4 years. I taught hundreds of hours of seminars to the public. In fact, let me tell you something. The home shows that I do, the seminars that I do at the home shows are free. And people come up and ask questions and that all the time. So if you want to just come out, check out my website. We have a listing of where I'll be appearing. Bring your questions. We answer all your questions and stuff like that. We also have fun. We give away some prizes. I'm trying to get some sponsors to give us some real interesting things this year. But let me get into a programmable thermostat. For years, I have not been an advocate of using these. I tried putting one in my house a number of years ago, and it was just so difficult to program. I know a lot of you can relate to what I'm talking about. It just didn't work right. No matter what I did, I'd come home one day, it would be 80 in the house, next day it'd be 50. So I actually ended up getting frustrated, and I took that one out and put just a plain thermostat in. But Honeywell has come up with a thermostat now, a programmable thermostat that is very easy. Easy for me to program, and if it's easy for me to program, you probably can do it too. So I really do suggest installing a programmable thermostat. When you're away from the house, you can turn the heat down where you don't have to have it on 68 or 70. You can turn it down. But let me get into a little bit about turning that heat down in the wintertime. Sometimes I hear people talk about turning it down 10, 15 degrees. You should never go down that far. You should go down maybe 8 degrees is probably sufficient. If you turn it down too far, what ends up happening is everything in your house gets real cold. Then when the furnace does kick back on, when the thermostat senses that it is real cold at 10 degrees or 12 or 15 degrees lower, it takes a lot longer, and the furnace works a lot harder to bring up the temperature. So if you put one of these in the wintertime, kick it down about 8 degrees. That will really save you a lot of money. And in the summertime, the same thing. Don't turn it up to 85. You know, if you like to have your temperature around 75, kick it up to about 80 during the day when you're not home. And about an hour before you come home, have it go back on and bring that temperature down to 75 or 72, whatever you feel comfortable with. Before we even start this segment, it's real important that I get this point across. Put the gloves on. Please, put the gloves on. This is a great product for sealing any penetrations you have in your home. What I suggest people do is go into the basement of their home and look up into the rafters around the outside perimeter of the house, and if there's any penetrations, like during the day, if you see sunlight coming through, you take a product called Great Stuff. And I even want you to even go outside, and if you can, put a piece of duct tape on wherever the penetration is, so Great Stuff doesn't ooze out on the outside of the house. But then you take and just open this up. you take and screw this thing down. And it's real important that we shake up everything really well before we use it. Then we stick it in that hole and we give it a spritz. And pull it back as you're spritzing it into that hole. And if you start seeing this great stuff foaming up, what I want you to do is stop, because it'll keep oozing out. Now, here comes the trick. Why I wanted you to wear these gloves is the first time I used this, I didn't wear any gloves. I got it all over my hands. There's nothing that'll clean this stuff off. So you definitely want to get an inexpensive pair of gloves. You can get them at the pharmacy. Just get the surgical gloves. In fact, you should have them around your home now. With all the chemicals you use to clean your home, it's a good idea to put surgical gloves on to prevent you from getting those chemicals in. But with the great stuff, if it starts oozing back, I suggest leave it alone. That's right, don't touch it, don't mess with it. Leave it alone. And guess what? Tomorrow it's going to be dry. Just take it and break it off, and you're fine. Or even slice it with a knife. People lose a lot of energy around their homes because the caulking around their doors and windows is not there, or it's all cracked up. You know, I've been watching these home improvement specialists or aficionados, whatever you want to call it, on the news. They come out and they'll actually have something like this, and they'll put a real fine bead of caulk. They'll cut this really fine, and they'll put a real fine caulk bead here, and then it's a trademark. The guy will actually go like this, and he'll wipe that caulk out. Well, I don't care what kind of caulk you use. If you put a real fine bead in this joint, it's going to crack. Windows and doors around your home butt up to different types of material. There's nothing that's the same material. So these products expand and contract at a different interval, a different temperature. So if you don't have a real nice, decent bead of caulk in there, it's going to crack the first time your house expands or contracts a little bit. Another tip I want to give you, though, is you want to go into a caulk that is a polymer, something that'll expand and contract with your home. Solar Caulk is a product that is made here in Illinois, and it's 100% polymer. You put a bead of this caulk down around your doors and windows, it'll last forever. That's right, folks, it'll last forever. And it'll expand and contract with your home. But don't forget, like we did here, and I purposely made this bead a little bit on the uneven side, but real thick to get the point across. You want to put a nice thick bead around your doors and windows, and that'll save you anywhere from 12 to 18% in energy costs around your home. I'm working with a few companies right now. We're trying to work on replacing a heating and air conditioning unit in my home. A lot of great tips about what's going on with these new efficient heating and air conditioning units. But for all of you out there that have replaced your unit recently or are not even contemplating replacing the unit, everything is working fine. Couple of tips I'm going to give you. Number one, it's a good idea to clean out the ductwork. If you have allergies or any of that, you can get everything out of the ductwork. They have companies now that come out and they actually will clean your ductwork. Very, very good thing to do. But I really want to get into filters. You know, your furnace works on air and gas. Okay, usually about 1 part of gas to about 15 to 25 parts of air, average furnace. By having a dirty filter, you're restricting the airflow to your furnace. Real important to keep these filters clean. New things out in the market today, Webb has come up with a filter that traps all kinds of dust and allergens, okay, that are in the air. Real important. It's a great thing to put in and prevent you from sneezing and getting all those particles of allergy things that are growing inside your furnace and all of that. These come in one size. You can cut these down to fit the hole that you have for your filter. And these are really cool because you can take them out. I suggest spraying a product like Simple Green on it because it's a bacteria-killing, biodegradable type of cleaner. Spray it on both sides, and then in your laundry room or in the summertime you can actually take it outside and hose it off really well. Let it dry and then shove it back in. We should clean these filters every month. That will help you breathe a lot easier in your home. Plus, it'll help your furnace breathe a lot better, and you won't be wasting energy because you won't be burning a lot more gas than air. You know, today we're going to deal with a lot of topics again on the environment, on saving energy, or just making your life a little more comfortable. We all use one of these units, which is an air conditioner, or the ones that we have, the central air units. I would say they're probably the most neglected thing you have in your house. When do you clean them? When they're not working, right? That's what most people say. How about changing these filters on these things? A lot of times people don't do that until it's not blowing real cold. But let me talk a little bit about, let's get into the beginning of today's show. Like my screwdriver came down. I want to get into servicing this before you put it in for the season. Or if it's not working right now, and it's real hot out. It's about 95 degrees today when we're shooting this show, and it's warm. So we're going to give you a lot of great tips because this one, well, to be honest with you, this one's shot, but we're going to give you some great tips on how to maintain yours if you have one of these window units. Number one, we're going to take off the face. You can actually see this face is like real yellow. It's really discolored and all of that. It's really dirty. That tells me that this person that had this unit in their home didn't do a good job of cleaning it. And they weren't smokers. In fact, I was the one to replace this unit. Here is the filter, and it's really, really bad. It's really old, and it's dirty. It really is bad. You don't want to wash these. These are so inexpensive. You want to replace them. And you know what? They don't even, they probably still make these, but I don't like these because as they get older and the heat from the air conditioner will actually make these things sort of disintegrate. They won't filter the air. In fact, they're going to put these particles into your home. So you definitely don't want to use these old-fashioned spongy type of things. It's time to throw them out. These new filters they have out nowadays, it almost looks like gauze that you tape yourself up with when you have a cut or something. But you can fold them in half and use something like that. This is really good because it really traps. It traps a lot of allergens and it filters the air. That's what you want. You want the air filtered. You don't want to just keep putting dirty air blowing around dust and dirt into the home. All air conditioners have a unit like this in front of it or around it if you have the central air unit in your home. These end up filling up with dust and dirt and cottonwoods and all kinds of garbage. When that happens, you're not cooling properly. You're not getting the most out of your unit. What's happening is the unit's not breathing properly. When it doesn't breathe properly, it's working harder. Okay, you have all this dirt and dust and everything on all of these components, and the unit is getting hotter. So it's working twice as hard, not as twice as hard, but it's working harder than it should. When it's working harder, what's it doing? Burning more energy. So real simple, before you put these in, once a season is really sufficient, I want you to take a product like Simple Green. You know, in fact, I just had somebody email me. They asked me why I use this. They talked about some kind of an aluminum cleaner or something in the email. I don't like to use anything that might damage the aluminum. I know this product is biodegradable. It doesn't hurt anything. It will not hurt anything, any components here. Biodegradable, so if it goes on the ground, it's not going to hurt anything either. Some of those aluminum cleaners that this person was talking about actually has like an acid in it. Well, that'll etch this stuff and you'll really be in trouble. But what I want you to do is take this product and spray this down really, really well. You know, a good idea with these window units that you have in your home, you can actually even go and spray down all your vents on the sides. Get all of that stuff in there, sprayed down really well. And in the back you have a grill. Real important to spray this stuff in there really well also. There's, like I said, there's a lot of dirt inside these air conditioners, and you want to go around and keep them clean. You know, they run on a little bit of electricity, but a lot of air, okay? So air is what makes this unit work the best. If you have a lot of cottonwoods or dirt and dust in here, I want you to take a brush, nothing with a real stiff bristle. I want something very soft. In fact, I came up with an idea a few years ago. If you don't have one of these appliance brushes that has very soft bristles, this is the one you've seen us use to clean out the dryer. If you don't have something like that, we all have a snow brush. We live in the Midwest. You have to have a snow brush. You could take a snow brush because the bristles are very fine. Don't get into it with real vigorous motion. What I want you to do is just gently stroke it. That's right, folks, a gentle stroke. In fact, you can even wet down your brush, wet down the fins. Again, all you're trying to do is get all that crud down from it. You can even use, and I brought them all out because you don't need to have to go out and buy a certain tool to do this. If you have a whisk broom that has real soft bristles, again, stroke it very gently. All you're doing is just getting all the crud out of there. You can even spray this into the air chamber up above. Some of them have like an exchange unit there up above the air conditioner. And then all I want you to do is take a hose and spray this all down really well. It's real important that you clean this vent also, this grill that's on the front of your air conditioner. If it's all dirty, you're going to have that dirt going inside the freshly cleaned air conditioner. If you clean it like I've shown in this segment, what I want you to do is let this thing sit, even put it on its back end for about a half hour. Then I want you to let it sit for a few hours, you know, in its regular position. You could slide it back into the window or the hole where it came out of, and then actually wait for a little while, 4 or 5 hours, before you start it up again. And this should make your unit work a lot more efficiently. Don't forget, when these things get dirty, they heat up, they're running really, really hot, which is not good. And it's taken a lot more energy to cool off your home than it would if this unit was working right. You know, another thing I really would like to touch on, if the unit's bad in your home, we replaced this one. This is very old technology and very, very primitive. This thing is out of the 80s. In fact, I believe it's stamped somewhere about 1985, 86. This is very primitive technology, so it was wasting a lot of energy. But back then, this was relatively a new item. Back in the 80s, it was a new item where it was just coming out, where they did like a 4,000 or 5,000, I think 6,000 BTU was huge, because you just put it in like one room, like a bedroom or something like that. If you're replacing one of these units, I suggest you getting the 8,000 BTU unit and run it on low. It'll be a lot more efficient for you than running a 5,000 BTU unit on high all the time. You know, I'm getting to see a lot more of this as I'm going into homes and stuff like that. People will actually take and paint the back end of these air conditioners that are sticking out in the window. When they're painting their windows, they're painting the back of the air conditioners. Not a good thing to do. Again, this thing needs to breathe. It gets extremely hot. It's working in the hottest temperatures that we have, and it's trying to cool your home. By painting the back of this unit, this air conditioner, you are restricting, again, the transfer of the heat out of the unit. So never, please never paint any part of an air conditioner at all. All you're going to do is restrict the heat from escaping from the air conditioner. You're going to make it work harder, and you're going to waste a lot more energy. Talked about neglect with window units. AC units outside the home. I've done over 200 hours of seminars about saving energy and stuff at home shows and that. I've asked about central air conditioning units. When was the last time anybody in the audience cleaned it? I never get a hand that goes up. Nobody ever cleans these. You know when they service these? When the air isn't working, when it blows a fuse, when it's completely burned out or whatever. Let's get into this one. Number one, the area where this air conditioner is all full of weeds and stuff. So from the weeds that you have in this area, you have the cottonwoods flying around. That's what happened to this air conditioner. This air conditioner is definitely, we talked about the window units working twice as hard. This one is definitely working twice as hard, and it's running very, very hot because it can't breathe. Before we go to service it, I want to make sure that we pull out the fuse so that it doesn't go on while we're working on it. Again, we take our product. I want you to use something that's biodegradable, that won't hurt the cooling fins, that won't hurt the aluminum. It's very, very important that you use a product that's healthy, that works for this unit. Don't ever use any kind of aluminum cleaner. Now I want you to go in with this Simple Green, spray down these fins really, really well. This one's probably going to take a little bit of work here to clean up really well. The Simple Green will definitely start to loosen up the dirt. The dirt actually gets trapped in between the cooling fins, and that's what causes it to stick inside there. The dirt will actually turn into like a paste. I could actually even see it breaking up in here right now. I want you to really just soak it down very, very well. Let the product do the work for you. I don't want you to ever get into, like we talked about with the window units, no vigorous, no hard scrubbing, no hard brushing or anything like that. You can use, again, like we talked about earlier, this is our brush that we use for cleaning the dryer vent. It's a very soft bristle brush, and you can see it's actually taking things off. It'll take the dirt off. That Simple Green and this brush. If you don't have one of these, I suggest getting one because you could use it to clean your dryer and other things around your house. But you can actually go into a whisk broom. Again, no real hard brushing. Very, very soft, very gentle, very ginger, whatever you want to call it. Don't abuse this unit. This unit needs to breathe, so all these little fins have to have the lines in between. Well, let's say you don't have a whisk broom, or your whisk broom's got too hard of bristles. We all have. If you're driving and you live in this area, you have one of these in your car. I want you to take the snow brush, and you can actually clean it with the snow brush also. Now I want you to get as much of the crud off as possible. And then, man, this thing is probably the, and I won't say it's the worst because I've seen them worse than this, folks, really. And I guarantee you that a lot of you out there right now are enjoying that air conditioning at your home, and your air conditioners are working twice as hard. You're burning up twice the energy like this one was doing. Plus, this unit's working twice as hard. It's overheating, so it'll actually, seriously, burn out a lot faster. So if you got money to burn and you don't care, leave them dirty. But if you want to save some money, save energy, and anytime you save energy, you save the environment. I want you to go out there and clean your air conditioner out like you're seeing us do here today. Whenever you have the air conditioning going, you want to circulate the air in the home. It'll make it a lot more comfortable, and you'll be able to turn that temperature up a little bit. You won't have to have it down real low where you're using a lot more energy. Turning on your ceiling fan and making it draw the air up is what you want to do for the summer. Very important to have it draw the air up, because if you have it running where it's blowing everything down, the heat that's up, hot air rises, the heat that's up in your ceiling, you'll be pushing down, and you're going to make your air conditioner work a lot harder. Definitely set this thing up and make sure it's drawing the air up. That'll save you a lot of money. If you have a fan, a small fan, they have these little square box fans. In fact, you can get them at the inexpensive stores. Get one and even put it on the floor like near a vent. Again, you're going to have your air conditioning circulating upward. It's going to be circulating through the room instead of just coming out of your vent. Very, very, very important to circulate the air in the room. You'll save energy. Even though you're burning some energy with a fan going in the room, you definitely want to have the air circulating. If you don't have one of these, put a couple of fans in a couple of rooms around your home. That'll help circulate the air, and you might be able to kick that air conditioner up to about 75. They're even saying now try to go to 78. If you did the things that we showed you in today's show on how to clean air conditioners and keep them clean, you're going to save a lot of energy. Believe me, folks, today with energy costs, it's always been expensive. I've never had anybody tell me that it was cheap to cool the house down this summer or last summer or the summer before. It's always very expensive. Energy costs right now, like with the automobile, are going up with the electric in the homes, and the gas has gone up too in the homes. So you want to get the best bang for your buck. I grew up in a day and an age when there used to be a commercial on TV. It was a light bulb. It was Little Bill, and he used to sing, electricity costs less today, you know, than it did many long years ago. Well, we're back to the olden days, and I mean the olden days, where all your energy costs are very high. By doing these tips I showed you in today's show, you're going to save a lot of money. It's a lot of money you're going to save.
If you'd like to advertise on the Chicago History and Automotive Heaven television and radio show, you can contact me at 312-841-2560. Email me at rautomd@gmail.com. Go to our website and check out all of our stuff. We have a sponsors page on there at richiez.com. That's www.richiez.com. IEZIE.com. If you have a business, product, or a service, we can put together a package that'll help benefit your business, product, or service. Or if you just like to donate, it's a pledge drive. You can donate to our show and keep us on the air. We're actually looking for sponsors to do a lot more shows like you've seen today. I'm Richie Z. Thank you for watching.
I'm also doing a thing where I go out and I inspect homes. And I inspect homes for energy savings. So we've done a number of them now, and these people are beginning to really save a lot of money in their everyday energy costs. So look at the website, take these tips that I showed you today, and hopefully you're going to save money. If you save money, you save the energy. And you know what? We're going to save the planet, because we won't have to make as much energy. Every time we make something, be it saving water, you're not using the chemicals, and the plants are using electricity and all this other stuff. This is really a thing that we have to do. It's not that we want to do it. We're having more and more people every day in the world. We need to save this planet. Otherwise, it's not going to last long. We're going to destroy the planet.
Now we really get into something that's very interesting. A dehumidifier works very well in the home. What it does is it takes the humidity out of the air in the home. So by using one of these, by turning on your dehumidifier, and I turn mine on in the basement in the summertime, I usually run it between May and the end of October, depending on the temperature. Once we start turning the heat back on, then we don't use this anymore, because the heater will actually dry out the air. But not only will it help you with your energy costs, because your air conditioner won't have to work as hard getting the humidity out of the air, but you'll also prevent getting mold and mildew and stuff like that in your basement. It's real important to use one of these. And I also want you to clean it out periodically, like usually about once a month. I like to take and just spray it down really well with our product of Simple Green, and get anything that's in here, any kind of like a black looking, like a moldy looking, not mold, but you know, nasty looking thing. Wash it out really well, rinse it out, put it back in, and definitely use one of these, and you'll cut your energy cost. With all the tips that I gave you in today's program, I know that you'll be able, depending on the size of your home, you'll be able to save anywhere from around 10 to about 20% on the energy cost, maybe even a little more, depending on your unit, the age, the efficiency, and how tightly your house is closed up. Don't forget, clean those units, use a real soft brush. Really want to get into that. It's like an appliance brush. Use your Simple Green, hose it off, and you'll get a lot more energy efficiency out of your air conditioner.
You know, we're building a new set. The show's doing really well. We have a lot of people interested in what we're doing. In fact, our show airs in California. And I say our show, it's your show and their show too. By keeping the house cooler and saving energy, we're making our kids, these guys, more comfortable. I don't know if I introduced them before in the show, but this is Boston Blackie, and this is Fergie. Her name is the Duchess of York, because she's a Yorkshire Terrier. We call her Fergie, and she's a royal bitch, right? She gets anything she wants. You know what? I want to spend a few seconds here just talking about pets and keeping things comfortable for them. Make sure you always have water for them. When it gets really hot out, don't put them in the car. These guys love to go for a ride, but boy, when it gets hot out, I don't take them out at all, unless I'm going to be in the vehicle the whole time and have the air going. They don't survive in hot weather at all. And they become part of the family. If you're ever looking for pets, I really suggest going to a shelter. These guys are from Pet Rescue. I've gotten all my dogs from Pet Rescue. They're just a great part of the family. And let me say one other thing here. if you're going to be adopting a dog or an animal, a cat or whatever it is, make sure you find out what kind of an animal it is and what it does. He's real hyper. He likes to run around. He likes to bark. So if you don't like that kind of activity, that kind of noise, don't get a dog like him, because that's what he does. When I got him, he was really abused. You couldn't even touch his fanny like this because he would go to bite you. Somebody was really hurting him. Now he's a happy little boy, right? My little boy. So make sure you find out what kind of pet you really want before you go getting one. You know, I love him running around and barking and everything else. I talk to him and tell him how good of a boy he is. Yeah, Blackie's a good boy. When I say good boy, his tail goes crazy. From the day I got him, being abused and everything else, I would tell him, he's a good boy. Look at that tail go. He loves to hear that. You know, one other thing I want to do before I close out today's show. With building the new set and everything else, I want to talk a little bit about this countertop. There's a company out of Naperville, Illinois. It's called Counter Solutions. It's relatively a new business where it's a man-made countertop. It looks like the conventional countertops you buy now out of those stone things, but this is new and I think a lot better than these stone things because number one, it doesn't absorb anything. So you could put relatively anything on here. A glass of wine, red wine, you can actually spill on here and it won't damage it. If you damage this top too, you can actually have it repaired where those other stone tops aren't easy to repair. Another thing that's really interesting about this stuff, it doesn't soak up any kind of blood or anything like that from meat or chicken or anything like that. So bacteria doesn't stay in this countertop. I'd like to thank the folks at Counter Solutions for making the countertop for us, for our show, Homeland Improvements. Check out their website, homelandimprovements.com. Counter Solutions is out of Naperville, Illinois. What's really unique about what they do is they will actually come to your home with a truck and build a countertop on site. So the day they show up, they measure, they go out to the truck, build the top, come back in the house, set it, and it's done. So it's really an interesting concept. You know, those old stone tops, they come out, measure, and about 3 weeks later they come back with your top. You don't have to do that anymore, and this is a lot better. So when you're looking for countertops, think about this new stuff, Counter Solutions out of Naperville. We're going to do a piece with them. We're going to actually go on their truck and show how it's made and stuff like that. So, the show is doing really well. We're getting a lot of response. We're going to work really hard on doing some more of these energy savings, and we're working on right now. I'm actually going out. I'm trying to find a house. I'm doing energy inspections. So I write up your house and then give you suggestions on how you can save energy. I'm looking for a house that's really, really, really in bad shape. So with that, this is Fergie, the Duchess of York, and this is my buddy, my good boy, Boston Blackie. And for the Homeland Improvements television show, we'd like to thank you for watching. What do you say? Say, roar. Say, roar. Say, roar. Say, roar. Fergie loves to sing. Right? You sing? Sing for me?
It's not live. It's not from New York. It's on tape. And it's from Chicago. It's Homeland Improvement. Well, you got a problem with that? If you do, see my buddy Rich. He'll straighten you out.
If you'd like to advertise on the Chicago History and Automotive Heaven television and radio show, you can contact me at 312-841-2560. Email me at rautomd@gmail.com. Go to our website and check out all of our stuff. We have a sponsors page on there at richiez.com. That's www.richiezie.com. If you have a business, product, or a service, we can put together a package that'll help benefit your business, product, or service. Or if you just like to donate, it's a pledge drive. You can donate to our show and keep us on the air. We're actually looking for sponsors to do a lot more shows like you've seen today. I'm Richie Z. Thank you for